Has it ever occurred to you that when it comes to the pinch, often the greatest entertainers are quite ordinary people who've never been on a stage before? To illustrate our point, we go now to a holiday camp at Clacton and at the same time introduce a new sport, pram racing, which, as you can see, has its share of hazards for the inexperienced. The point we're making is that even at holiday camps where everything is so well organized for you, it's often the campers themselves who provide the fun. Take pram racing now. You won't find it in any of the sporting handbooks, but it has all the thrills, spills and entertainment of the better-known events. In fact, at this makeshift racecourse, the only thing missing is the bookie's enclosure. No sign of big race nerves. They're away first time. In every case, you'll notice it's a man doing all the hard work, while the so-called weaker sex takes it easy. In fact, there's nothing in the rules that says that women shouldn't push, but of course, very conveniently, it never occurs to them. Still, it's certainly faster and a lot less dangerous this way. Two laps of the 200 yards track is a lot more strenuous than you might think, especially to chaps who only do a few minutes training a day, catching the early morning train. However, as the climax of the race approaches, the women competitors have to do their share. Hitherto, they've been playing at being babies, now they have to act like them. Each one has to drink a full bottle of milk. It doesn't follow, of course, that the girl with the most exercised mouthpiece always wins, but one thing is certain. As horse racing is known as the sport of kings, we're surely justified in naming pram racing the sport of babes, in every sense. Children can behave like little monkeys at times, but it's always nice to catch an occasional glimpse of the very much younger generation on its best behavior, as at this holiday camp. Competitions demand concentration as well as physique. Every time this chap sits down, he rests on his laurels. You prefer something more active? This wheelbarrow race has a new slant. The prize, a stick of rock, is actually there in front of you. All you have to do is to catch up with it. Don't look now, but there's a distinct atmosphere of favoritism about this. I can't help feeling that the stick of rock isn't strictly in the middle. The big item of the day, naturally, is the final of the beauty contest. Average vital statistics, 18, 19 and a half, 22. Ambitions from left to right, to be a model, to be a model, to be a model. This is Sandra Colclough, who has a pretty taste in ribbons. This sort of thing would go to any girl's head, wouldn't it? But in the end, the judges decide on Sandra. Who said freckles were a drawback? Over to the gentleman. This is Peter Hall, who's already busted 3 tape measures. A real Tarzan rib tickler for the benefit of the judges. And here's another Colclough, Morris this time. The family obviously has something. And it goes over big with the audience. Come on, Morris, smile at the ladies. You know what? This camp isn't safe. I'm leaving. from shoes that are different, to say the least, to a swimming gala with a difference. One in which anything can happen and probably does. However, the reason for our interest is that as not many people can reach Olympic standards, the accent at this Clacton holiday camp is on fun. Although the competitive spirit is encouraged, it's difficult to take things too seriously with handicaps like this. Although a three-legged swimming race is not the sort of thing at which one gets much practice, the standard, as you can see, is remarkably high. In fact, the idea might well catch on in serious competition. For competitors who preferred not to get themselves wet if they could help it, transport was laid on. Unconventional by our standards, admittedly, but on the other hand, these boats are not really so far removed from the coracles of Wales and the tub-like basket craft seen in parts of the Far East. The tubs might not be accepted at Henley, nor perhaps ever rival other means of water transport. But as a source of entertainment, they'll go down with a splash. The glory of ancient Rome is a theme which lends itself to dramatization, and much has been written and indeed filmed, fact and fiction, about such Roman spectacles as the arena. On this occasion, however, we thought it would be a pleasant change to watch a less serious approach to the subject of chariot racing, for example. And at a holiday camp in Filey, Yorkshire, the accent is not on authenticity, but on fun. In Roman days, of course, the chariots were drawn by 2 or 4 horses. But there again, the somewhat blasé audiences were used to seeing drivers fall off and get trampled to death. In fact, it was an essential part of the fun. The approach here is not that serious, and speed is sacrificed for added safety, with manpower replacing horsepower. Even so, as you'll discover, there was still a fair share of spills. Parate, attendite, ite! Another enlightening thing about the Roman version is that heavy betting took place, and members of the crowd won and lost fortunes. So woe betide any driver who let them down. In this case, it's merely the honor of the house at stake. Did someone say merely? This would never have satisfied the Romans. No crashes, no bloodshed, and no one lost his toga. Still, give us time. We can always learn. Another problem that has never really been settled, and probably never will, how to eat spaghetti gracefully. However, on this occasion, all that is being thrown to the winds in the cause of speed, for this is a spaghetti eating race. The location is a holiday camp at Clacton, and what the competitors may lack in experience, they make up for in enthusiasm. They're under starters' orders, and they're off. Soon they're settling down well, shoveling it in scientifically, no bumping and boring, just hard chewing, swallowing, and getting the feel of this long, winding course. Still half a plate to go, and the pace is telling on some of them. It's a stayers race, this spaghetti selling plate, named, by the way, after the great spaghetti, by wheat out of Bluted. Most of the field are handling the slippery conditions very well, and it looks like being a close finish. They're in the straight now where stamina tells, and some are beginning to fade. Only 6 mouthfuls to go, and they're still munching mouth and mouth, teeth clicking, jaws pounding, and from nowhere comes an outsider, Little Susan, with an all-consuming final burst. Some of the others are still bursting. Of course, you don't need skis to turn people's heads. All you need is a pretty face and the correct vital statistics. But have you noticed that even bathing beauty competitions are losing some of their appeal? These days, the trend often seems to be towards the novelty contest, and at this Clacton holiday camp, we found one for Dad. Whether he's a chubby hubby or a slim Jim, the winner is the one whose shape best fits the cutouts. This is one contest for which no amount of training will help, because if you want to put on weight, you've got to know in advance where to put it, and vice versa. What's more effective is to have one of the judges lending a little more support. Hardly cricket, but still knocks the opposition for 6. Not exactly a prestige event, yet competition is nevertheless quite fierce, even though the chances of most are obviously slim. One thing no one could possibly know until they started was that no two people are ever exactly the same size, or at least very rarely. Who knows? The police may well borrow the system one of these days to replace those messy fingerprint tests.
Girls at a holiday camp in Clacton aren't allowed a machine, not even a needle, only string and a pile of oddments, handkerchiefs and dusters and the like. The task, to make a bikini from the materials available and then, of course, to wear it. The rules allow the boyfriend to help. Looks easy, doesn't it? But just you try it. The trouble is, material is flat and the girls aren't. Time's up, and now for the proof of their ingenuity and workmanship. Anyone who can't distinguish between vital statistics and wishful thinking is going to find herself in dead trouble. Any problems there may have been, such as string not being the same as elastic, have apparently been solved. Everyone who went in has come out. Imagination and ingenuity have conquered every difficulty, including, to a certain extent, the laws of gravity. The judge has a problem too. In fairness to everybody, he has to ignore the foundation and give all his marks to the creation. Anybody who can do that in the circumstances deserves a prize himself. For although this colourful city is often called the Paris of the East, it's justifiably proud of its own characteristics.
City of traffic, congested city of noise, your city. Any city where life has become close-packed, where massive buildings blot out the sky already dirtied by too much smoke, where children must dream of sweet grass, of far sights, and water enough to be called the Broads. Selhurst Broad, this glittering stretch of Norfolk. Here is a dream come true for the youngsters of cities left far behind. A week of adventure. That's the holiday these youngsters are having. 7 adventurous days in a treasure island world of sailing boats and a rippling wind that sings of pirates. Still dreaming? Of course they are. They're in dreamland. Away from the city. But there's a city-sounding name behind this dream, the National Association of Youth Clubs. They offer 5 weeks in every year like this to the young people of clubs all over the country. Yes, girls too, but don't be surprised. You might well be if you try to keep them away. That's Sir John Hunt's daughter winching up the sail. But then everyone here has an Everest to conquer. It's not easy preparing a Norfolk wherry. Probably this is the last of the graceful sailing barges designed to trade on the Broads. The city called them inefficient, too slow, too old. Speed, the city still urges. But watch the majesty of that sail rising, to fill with pride. Nat Bertram once skippered a wherry. He can remember carrying coal to Yarmouth. Now it's the children of coal-smutted cities he carries, teaching them sailing and sending them home with stories of a world gone by. But there's much to be done on land, too. There's the adventure of preparing to sleep under canvas, under a star-bright sky. It's all part of getting away from a too familiar way of life. It's all part of doing things for yourself. It's all part of being young. She had smoke in her eyes when she came, but now she can rub it away to see her first meal.
Whilst the shanty evokes nostalgic memories of, say, the grain schooners racing in from Australia, the day of the big ships is now something of the past. Instead, a pleasant lake and a dinghy, such as this one, may be the nearest many of us will get to the romance of the big boats. However, you must agree, there's fun to be had on a holiday of this kind, especially when you can hitch the dinghy to the car and move on to the next stretch of water. But now you have found a quiet lake for the dinghy, you may well decide to spend a few days in the same place. Some people solve this problem with a tent. Others prefer the more permanent luxuries of a caravan. But we've found something for those who like the best of both. Whilst this family is launching the dinghy, Father has started to erect the collapsible caravan. The whole operation is so simple that he can complete it in a few minutes and without any help. Made by a Nottingham firm, it's designed to carry all the equipment needed for camping, and when erected, will sleep 4 people. One advantage of this equipment is its lightness, which means that the smaller cars can tow the trailer, and the comfort of home can be taken into the remotest parts of the country. Despite the rigors of our climate, you don't need a tonic to build up this protection. Now that the home is almost up, it's time for the furniture to be brought out. We've certainly come a long way from the days of the campfire and a blanket. They say that Rome wasn't built in a day, but then obviously the Romans hadn't thought of this idea. But even cars and horses have their limitations when it comes to a large family like the Fosters from Ruskington in Lincolnshire. So they've solved their transport problems in a most novel way. This 20th century wagon train is led by GPO clerk Jim Foster on his eye-catching bicycle made for 4. As a family, the Fosters have been cycling for 10 years, starting with an ordinary tandem and sidecar. Today, they have 14 bikes between the 10 of them, although this is the usual lineup. To go on holiday with a family of this size would probably need Mr. Foster's entire wages for the year. but refusing to be saddled, as it were, with rail fares and hotel bills, they pack their own tents, they can afford to get away as often as possible. You personally may think this is a pretty antiquated form of travel, but don't start putting a spoke in it. At least it impresses the scientists. They've never seen such a chain reaction.
As to take a trip on the Santa Fe stage. Creation here obviously isn't nature's work, but on this occasion it's no less intricate. This is creativity for a purpose. Just pure carnival fun. And although Carnival too is a very make-believe affair and the mood may be light as air, it starts with the hard work they're putting in at this Clacton holiday camp. They're all pulling their weight to make a success of the annual Festival of Fun. This is the day of beauty queens and princesses, or anyone who likes to look good in a swimsuit. The spirit of Carnival is almost as old as man. It's the annual winter binge, the parade of all kinds of human passion before the strictures of a religiously observed Lent. But this is a hark back to the height of the Clacton holiday season, so you can enjoy yourself almost all the year long. Away you go then. This is a tradition that links the wild carnival revels of Rio and Trinidad, the Mardi Gras of New Orleans and Nice, with a jolly good day out at the English seaside. But it wouldn't be make-believe to say that this isn't the first time the Vikings have sailed into Essex. Great explorers they were, and a riotous lot, just right for the carnival atmosphere. It's said they even discovered America. But if that's true...
The hop-picking season is starting, and once again many hundreds of Londoners, husbands, wives and children, are off for their camping holiday. Hop-picking is a grand institution. It enables many families who would otherwise not get any holiday to go out into the open and earn their keep as they go along. What, tea on a hop field?
You don't have to speak the language, but you do have to stop. This typical Continental road barrier gives an authentic touch to the British Caravan Club's weekend camp in Drayton Manor Park, Staffordshire. It's a get-together for some of Britain's 200,000 caravan owners before they go touring abroad. Organised by the Caravan Club's Midlands section, the idea is for members to get the atmosphere of continental life and to learn how to cope with touring abroad. The camp is divided into sections, each representing different countries, and all driving is on the right-hand side of the road. Expert instructors teach currency values, continental road signs, and international camping rules. Film shows and national dress dances give the campers a foretaste of what in some cases will be their first trip away from Britain. Thanks to their weekend, they'll be able to take their caravan homes across the channel and feel at home.
The sun is nature's paintbrush, and sunshine the gold that lies beyond the rainbow. The sun is the gentle hand that wakes the blossom and draws back the curtain of darkness, bringing beauty into the drowsy world. The sun is life. Life for the fields of corn, which in turn give life to man, his daily bread. For man and woman, as for every living thing, the sun too is the spark which drives the mortal frame. Its warmth, the energy of toil. Yet the best thing about the sun is sitting in the shade, the sun that comes and goes at no man's bidding. Sunshine makes the summer. It's the magnet which draws youth out to play. From office and school, farm and factory, youth greets the sun as the playmate of leisure. And the gift of sunlight belongs to everyone. When the sun shines on Britain's garden, its magic makes the roads a highway to happiness, and youth looks up to greet the promise of the bright day. But summer is a fleeting season, and the sun is not prodigal with its blessings to our island. So youth seeks the sunshine eagerly, knowing as surely as the moon comes up that the autumn and winter are round the corner, and that today must be lived before the sun goes down.
The Great Trek of 1946. Destination, the hop fields of Kent, annual meeting ground of thousands of hop pickers. London stations battle with a happy-go-lucky lot of voluntary refugees. At Kent's Paddock Wood, first job is fixing up the home. Everybody's there, not forgetting the dog. You make your own mattress. And anyway, after a day's hop picking, you're so tired you could sleep in a clothesline. The gravity of British beer slips down towards the waterline. Reports say Kent locals are sending teams of barroom regulars down among the hops. Their task, Operation Pint Pot. Young and old, each year new faces come and old ones disappear. But the labor of the hands goes on with the inevitable endless rhythm of the harvest season. Take a good look. They're hops. You may even taste one someday. The hop pickers are busy again as the men pull down the long vines for the hops to be picked off by hand. Each year, London families make it a holiday with pay. It's open-air work that old hands can do as well as young. Maybe she's gone hopping ever since she, too, was a baby on her mother's knee. They're paid by the bushel of hops picked. In some places, small hops meant more work for the same money. And that's enough to make anyone hopping mad, anyone, that is, except the mechanical picker. Here, the vines, fastened to a belt, are carried slowly past the picker, which strips them, dropping the hops onto a conveyor belt. With the mechanical picker, 30 people can do the work of 300 and do it in comfort. Finally, the hops are fed into sacks ready for drying. By the way, hops put the bitter in your wallop, and not the wallop in your bitter.
From Pretoria to Victoria and a pre-war holiday crowd at the Seaside. Remember the rush and the crush and the scramble? The idea then was to go down to the sea in trips and ships with the rest of the world and his wife. It's rather different today, isn't it? And all because?
There's a war on.
Quite right, my friend. So now with the car put away and a shortage of petrol and transport, why not try a holiday on the river? And if you've never tried the Riverside, you've a treat in store. And old England has plenty of rivers to offer for your delight, each with its own charm and particular appeal. For Londoners, a grand host is Father Thames. even at no greater distance than Hampton Court. It's the resort of many well-known paddlers. And what's wrong with a riverside picnic? With safe bathing for the kiddies close at hand. The water may not be briny, but salt's not everything. You can get thirsty without salt. Maybe your idea of a holiday is a complete rest. Just one glorious laze on a lush riverbank. Perchance you can play prettily with a punt paddle or shine at setting a saucy sail. A punting party can be very enjoyable and profitable too, if you combine it with a bit of fishing. The Thames at Richmond is an ideal spot for the rowing enthusiast, and pushing the boat out can be just as easy as pulling it out. For miles along the banks of the Thames, there are lawns where you needn't keep off the grass, where you can take your ease or your tease and watch the gay traffic of London's own river. It's an eye-opener, especially for those who thought that such simple pleasures were hardly worthwhile. Yes, George, a holiday on the river can be as restful and recuperative as a seaside jaunt. And if you've a mind and a tent, you can stay at your own hotel. The joys of the river are boundless. Bless 'em all. Finally.
And this way, please, for the river, good old Father Thames. He's been a grand host to the thousands of home holiday makers who found that a longer journey was certainly not necessary, except for our friends the Americans. Maidenhead Reach, where these scenes were taken, is where the old toll gate was thrown in triumph into the river the year before the First Great War. But do they care? Certainly not. If you want to gamble after a bathe, try it this way, but don't forget to duck your napper. There's no end to the number of ways in which you can enjoy a river holiday. These are some of the quieter ways, and you can be sure of a bite either from a midge or a minnow. Picnicking on Thames side is a very popular idea. The meadows are lush and they go well with the stove, that is, if the stove goes well. And if there should be a shower, you've got your little canvas home quite handy. There's romance on the river too, my lad. If you haven't your own boat, you can borrow a paddle steamer and go places. All of them delightful. But pushing your own boat out is the best way, and you needn't always push it. What's wrong with rigging up a sail? Breezing upstream, say from Windsor to Wallingford, is a grand adventure which you'll long remember. This way will certainly please. From the Agriculture Information Bureau in Trafalgar Square, let's watch how other Eves step out to do their bit by lending a hand on the land. Under the scheme, men and women on the home front are invited to spend their holidays in one of the many camps up and down the country, and at the same time help the farmer with his crops. Pay is at the rate of £1 an hour, and the cost of keep, 28 shillings a week, so that the holiday maker can show a profit after paying all expenses. Joan and Peggy are city typists, and it's a great day for them when they pack up their machines and set off for the station. They are bound for a holiday camp in Bedfordshire. A short railway journey, and very soon the two girls are breathing the sweet, clean air of the countryside. Mincing Lane is soon forgotten in a leafy Bedfordshire lane. The villagers living near the camp are very sociable. and there's always a special greeting for the newcomer. At the camp, the girls are welcomed by the hostess. There is a friendliness and informality about the proceedings that makes the visitors feel quite at home. Now they're shown their sleeping quarters, canvas but roomy, and as cosy as the requirements of a healthy open-air life can make them. Tent Town is an orderly and happy town because there's a lot of fun as well as work. Meredith, they're in. An hour or so before, they were tapping a tiresome typewriter in a stuffy office. Now they can fill their lungs with the bracing air of the countryside. One of the first things to do is to discard one's town clothes and get into something truly rural. They haven't forgotten to bring a pair of comfortable slacks. And now to explore the camp and meet the neighbors. There is a charm and a real restful atmosphere about the whole place that would tempt a visitor to spend a holiday quite apart from helping the farmer. Next morning, the holiday campers are whisked off in a lorry to the farm. Men and women workers are on their way to start a day's work in the fields. One of their first jobs is cutting cabbages, and the farmer has the knack of showing the newcomers the knack without wasting time or cabbages. Very soon, the whole company of farmers' boys and girls are cutting away as if they've been doing it for years. They cut the cabbages, as all you good allotmenteers know how, close to the stalk, so that later on you get those succulent little shoots that are so useful in salads. After the cutting comes the sacking, not the girls of course, but the cabbages, for market. That looks very much like lunchtime, and so it is, with healthy young people bringing healthy young appetites to the feast. Yes, lunching in the open after a good morning's work in the open can be a feast. Smiling through. It's the kick they get out of a good holiday with pay, and the satisfaction of knowing that they are serving on the nation's food front at the same time. Joan and Peggy agree that it's a grand idea.
At the Seaside, all along the coast of Britain, heaven knows how many millions of all ages had a good time in the biggest holiday of the year. In lots of places, the sun proved the weather forecasters to be bad prophets. The general feeling was, let's forget all about that terrible July and hope the rest of the summer will be more like last year's. Brighton began by waging a friendly contest with its neighbour Hove. Called the Silver Mile, it was given the best possible start by both mayors. Driving force behind it was the Variety Club. So John Turner, Millicent Martin, Ronnie Carroll, Tommy Cooper and a host of other entertainment top-flighters were on hand to stimulate generosity all round. Ian Carmichael. The contest goes on for a week to see whether Brighton or Hove is the first to cover a mile with silver coins. They expect to raise several £1,000s for Variety Club charities. Smash and grab proceeds not accepted. Further west, Bournemouth was crowded as usual, and though it was nearer the expected bad weather zone, it was fine to begin with. And then came the rain.
Not in any half-hearted way, but as if we hadn't had any since Noah's Ark ran aground. Funny how swimmers will run a mile to get away from these so-called scattered showers. Getting about without a car with a large family needn't be a problem if you have the right sort of tandem. A bicycle made for 4 plus a trailer for the twins, and 6 of the Foster family are well on the road to holiday happiness. Janet and David have an ordinary tandem with 4-year-old Shirley in the sidecar. They live at Ruskington, Lincolnshire, quite untroubled by that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. Susan has a bike to herself. James Foster, an enterprising father of 8, often takes them 20 to 30 miles over the weekend and reckons on doing 40 miles a day in the holidays. It should give them a good appetite anyway. Action all the way.